What's up, YouTube? This is Wawa Echo, and I am your world heavyweight champion, Zach.
Are you sure you're Zach this time?
I'm Zach.
I'm Parker.
And we are here for the aftermath of WWE Battleground 2017.
And man, that was quite a crap show, wasn't it?
Oh, man. As you'll see, we're gonna split the match. We split the matches. We're gonna talk about them, and we share a lot of the same sentiments about about each match, and about the pay per view altogether. But honestly, it started off well. I guess not including the pre show. It started off really, really good, and then it just went quickly downhill from there. Like I'd even venture out to say right after the first match. Right after the first match, it was just like it was.
It kind of like how I would say it went is it started here, went down, then went up a little bit, and then went back down, and then it was down the rest of the way. Because the like halfway match that I'll talk about was good, not great, but it was definitely one of the best, more positive matches. But we'll start from the beginning.
So the pre-show match, Aiden English defeated the Perfect 10 Todd Dillinger.
Obviously, he's not very perfect.
Apparently not.
If he was defeated.
So here's the thing about this match. We both predicted.
Is Mr. Perfect still alive? He's dead, isn't he?
No, he's dead.
Darn, I was about to say dream match, Mr. Perfect versus Todd Dillinger.
Oh my goodness. I wish. But yeah, we both thought Todd would take the win because he has every single time. I mean, they fought like several times, and every time Dillinger won. So the booking made little sense. The ending really didn't make much sense either. I mean, I don't know much to say about it except it was crap. We sat through it bored, honestly. I mean,
of course, that's how we sat through most of the pay-per-view.
Right, but, I mean, there were maybe one or two spots that were worth watching, but that was it. Not really any athleticism, no entertainment. It sucked. So anyway, let's get off of that match, because that was terrible.
Yeah, really quick. The first match on the main card was hands down, without a doubt, no contest. Give them the trophy as well as the titles. The New Day brought their stuff along with the Usos. They put on by far match of the night, above and beyond, like no comparison. It's like they weren't even in the same state, planet, universe. It was so much better than anything else we saw tonight. It was the champions, the tag team champions, the Usos going against the New Day, and it was fantastic from start to finish. They just started. Man, the New Day was what was interesting was that it was Kofi and Xavier who were in the match. There was no Big E was at ringside, which is very different from how most matches with the New Day go, especially matches that are for the title, whether they are defending or trying to win the title. I believe Big E has been in like all of those except for last year when he was injured by Gallows and Anderson before their match that I believe the Clash of Champions. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I'm probably not because I'm never wrong. Except for when it comes to these predictions of this pay-per-view. So it was really cool getting to see Kofi and Xavier kind of step up. And they just started on one of the Usos, and man, they were hitting move after move. It was lightning quick pretty much the whole time, which I love. The match was fast. It was 13, almost 14 minutes. Which was like the fourth longest match on the card, but like pretty average. But it was just really, really good. Like there were so many amazing spots, so many times, so many false finishes, so many times that I thought that New Day was going to win or Usos were going to win. There was so much. Like, I can't even, by this point, like, because it was so long ago, it's like 3 hours ago that I watched it. I can't remember all of, like, the exact specifics. But, man, like, these two teams worked their butts off and delivered. And one of the best tag team matches, one of the best maybe matches, period, of the year so far, in my opinion. Like, the Hardys and Sheamus and Cesaro aren't the only mega tag teams of the year. Like, these guys are coming for it. It was really good, and I was a bit surprised by the ending, I will say, with having the New Day going ahead and winning now and not at SummerSlam. I would have saved this match for SummerSlam, like with the amount of hype of it and the action and high speed and everything about it. I would have saved that all for SummerSlam because the problem is there aren't any other tag teams worth a darn in SmackDown other than these two at this point because you destroyed American Alpha. They were like the closest chance that we had. Like, you ripped them apart because Jason Jordan sort of kind of tiny bit looks slightly like Kurt Angle. He's muscly and mostly bald. So that's what we were going with on that one. And so because of that, we ripped apart one of the best tag teams. And there's literally no one else except for maybe whoever this mystery attacker Brazongo is. If they're worth anything, maybe they'll be the next number one contenders. But the problem is, if you are forced to go with these two teams fighting again, I just don't think that anything really lives up to what we saw tonight. And that's what kind of disappoints me is, like, the last match should be, like, the best one. That's not always the case. It's hardly ever the case, honestly. Very few times that happen. But for tonight's sake, so good of a match. I would probably say, like, looking at the future, that the Usos probably will have their rematch at SummerSlam. But it's possible, like, they could go a different route. I don't know what that would be to give the New Day a opponent that actually seems worthy of the chance and, like, actually has a chance of beating them. But I'm just satisfied that this match was amazing, and that's all that matters right now. It's the one slight amount of hope that I'm taking from this pay-per-view.
And then we followed that insanely good match. I mean, oh, it's so good. With Shinsuke Nakamura battling Baron Corbin, Mr. Money in the Bank. Nakamura came out with the win, as expected, but not the way Baron Corbin low blow Nakamura, and for one, it was kind of a weird low blow. Like, it looked like it kind of missed, but like it looked kind of stiff at the same time.
Oh yeah, it did look really stiff.
But the ref called for the bell and it's DQ, and Nakamura won. Now, does this set up for another match between the two later on? No. I hope not, because here's the thing about this match: it fit Baron Corbin's pace, but Nakamura cannot work at Baron Corbin's. I mean, he can make anything work. It seems like he's been able to adjust, but his style is faster, quick paced. It's a strong style, yeah, but faster, quick paced, more psychological. Whereas Baron, now don't get me wrong, Baron's style kind of fits him because he just looks brutal. But I mean, I feel like he could have stepped it up with Nakamura, but I feel like he doesn't even try. And I guess in WWE, if you're big and beat people up, you don't really have to try. But with that being said, I think going forward, I hope that there's no more matches between the two, because we want to see Nakamura versus AJ Styles, whether it be at SummerSlam. We feel like it's a WrestleMania caliber match, but we're hoping something great from Nakamura at SummerSlam. That means not Baron Corbin. And quite honestly, whatever program he's played into next, he'll probably lose just because he's Mr. Money in the Bank. Or does he cash in at SummerSlam? or on a SmackDown? We don't know. At this point, it's hard to tell because, it's probably going to come literally out of nowhere, especially with the main event scene being kind of full right now. Some we'll talk about later on. So I really hope that that Nakamura gets put in a program with someone who is kind of more fit to his style. Baron Corbin, I really don't care where he goes, but
Yeah. And following that, we had the fatal 5-way elimination match to determine the number one contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship, of who the champion Naomi will face at SummerSlam. The problem I have with this match initially is I think it's stupid. I think that they haven't built this championship to be worthy of, instead of a championship match at a pay-per-view, for it to be a number one contendership match. Like, it doesn't feel important enough, in my opinion. And if you disagree, that's fine. But in my opinion, this belt doesn't mean enough to warrant a number one contendership match at a pay-per-view. Like, on SmackDown, sure, go for that. But like, very recently at Extreme Rules, Extreme Rules, we had a fatal 5-way for the Universal title, like, to become the number one contender.
Yeah,
that felt really good. Like, I really liked it. It was 5 people that were really well set up, and 5 people who have been in the main event scene, or like kind of towards the top of the card, at least, if not quite the main event scene, for a little while now. You know, Joe was obviously kind of the exception, and kind of Finn too, just because of how he was off for so long with injury. But like Bray and Roman and Rollins, they've been in the main event for a while now, or close to the main event for a while. And so it's believable, and it was believable with Finn and Joe too, that they were so good, because we've seen them in NXT, we've seen what they can do, and when they debuted, it was amazing. And because it was for the chance to face Brock Lesnar, it felt like it felt really good. Like, it felt like, man, this is
important.
Yeah, this is so important that we can't just have this on any old Raw. This has to be the main event of a pay-per-view. And that's just not the thing that I get from the SmackDown Women's Championship. And I'm not saying that because it's the Women's Championship. It's just the fact of how the division's been built.
Yeah.
The people in it. Like, the problem is that you only have literally 7 women in this division. Like, that's issue. And I've talked about in the past on this channel, about how I don't think they should have split the divisions apart in the brand split. I feel like one of the brands should have gotten the women, and the other brand should have gotten the cruiserweights. That's what I think should have happened, like they did at one point. That's not what they decided to do, and there's no way we can change it. But I just think it was a mistake, because literally you only have like 7 or 8 women on each show, and it's just not working. It just doesn't bring enough storylines. It doesn't bring enough of anything. And the problem is also, if you take out Lana and insert Carmella, we've seen this match like 4 or 5 times, because we had Money in the Bank with 5 women going after each other. And then before Money in the Bank, we had like 2 matches to set up the Money in the Bank thing. We've just seen this so much of just almost all the women going at each other, and like, in a way that's cool, but there's just it's tired at this point. I'm tired of seeing it. I want to see my champion and my number one contender go against each other. That's what I want. And I want you to have matches to set up who's the next number one contender, but I don't want everyone going against each other all the time, because it just gets to be boring, and honestly, none of their 5-way matches have been any good. And like the second Money in the Bank match was better than the first one, but and that's something I forgot. They did the same match literally 2 days apart.
Yeah.
That's so much overexposure on that one certain thing, and I think that's a mistake. And I hope that they reconcile it, because honestly, and they've been doing this for a while, because at WrestleMania, it was like a 6-way match for the belt at WrestleMania for the SmackDown title.
For the SmackDown,
it was. It was 4-way for the Raw. But Raw's been doing better of keeping it not so many multi-man matches.
Yeah.
It's been some tag matches, but Raw's been doing better. SmackDown, I'm just not liking it. And the match was just okay. The problem is that I had with it is that the eliminations, once they started, were back to back to back to back, and it was once the eliminations started, the match probably went on maybe 3 minutes.
Yeah.
After that, that to me is a problem, because to me in an elimination match, it's got to be suspenseful, and you can have 2 eliminations back to back quick, but you can't have every elimination literally within a 3 or 4 minute time frame. I mean, you can, because they did that, but I just don't. I think that was a mistake. And I thought leading up to it, it was okay, though there was a lot of, as we'll talk about later, a lot of logic was lost in this pay-per-view. And one of the first signs of it was in this match where people were breaking up submission holds. Lana broke up 3 or 4 submission holds, and Tamina broke up 2 of them. And that makes no sense, because say this was the WrestleMania match where it's literally the first pin gets the win, #bars, then yes, you would want to break up the submission moves because you want to win the match. But in an elimination match, which you all knew it was, and you know what an elimination match is, you're professional wrestlers, you should know this. Why would you want to break up the something that has the chance of eliminating some of your competition to where it makes it easier for you to win the match? That literally makes 0 sense, and I don't like that. I can suspend reality to a certain extent, but I can only go so far. WWE has to help me with that, because I can only suspend so much reality. They have to put in the effort to say, hey, this person is not mentally retarded, and that's an insult to mentally retarded people. Mentally retarded people would know that they don't need to break up that pin. It's literally so obvious, and that's what's annoying about it. But other than those things, which sounds like a lot, I guess, but the match for the most part was decent. I mean, it wasn't bad. Lana's a bit botchy, as has been seen, and she's a bit bad. She's not very good. And for some reason, they apparently want her to kick a lot. The problem is she either misses or she just way too stiffly just kills somebody. And those are issues that don't need to happen. And if she can't hit someone realistically looking, and when she does, she can't control herself to where she doesn't severely injure her co-workers, then she does not need to wrestle. And you need to put her back in the role that she was good at before, which is being a manager. And, obviously she can get better, and I believe that she can, and I feel like she's improved. It's not enough yet, and, obviously more matches is what that takes, but you just need to be careful so that we don't lose any of the few people we have in this roster of women Because if any of them gets injured for a large amount of time, that makes even less people for you to have to do storylines with. And in the end, Natalia was the one who picked up the victory and won the match. In a way, I like this because I feel like Natalia deserves the shot at the title. Natalia's taken a lot of crap throughout this career in WWE. She's been put in a lot of really crappy roles, and I feel like she's good enough to be a champion, like wrestling wise, not character wise, because her character sucks right now. They need to really reestablish that. But wrestling like wise and like she's paid her dues for sure, and I don't think she's been given the opportunity to be a champion yet, and that's kind of sad. So I'm hoping that like maybe not at SummerSlam, but eventually very soon she will become champion because I think it's deserved. Though what I would have done for SummerSlam, I think, is put Charlotte as the number one contender because I think if you're wanting to sell tickets, you want to convince people to watch on the network. Charlotte is where the money's at right now because Charlotte's character is not super defined like it used to be before she moved to SmackDown because a lot less defined now because of her being like a face, pseudo face.
Yeah, right.
But it's way more defined than Natalia's gimmick is. And so I feel like that is, and plus you have already kind of a story with Charlotte and Naomi because they had their title match and then it was broken up by the other women and they were never able to finish that match and you were never able to see who's the better woman. And so that could be something that you can actually, bring and that can actually involve your story. With Natalia, they're going to have to make up something and I don't know. It could be good though, and I'm hopeful that it will be. But yeah, that's about all I got for that one. It was an average match. So the next match of the card was the United States match between champion AJ Styles and the challenger Kevin Owens. This was a good match. Kevin and AJ are amazing wrestlers, two of the best in the company, and obviously they're going to put on a great match. The issue that I have with this is the game of hot potato that we're playing with the United States Championship. It's just weird that they're doing this with the belt because you already had with Jericho and Owens, you already had them hot potato the belt with Jericho having the belt and then losing it to Owens, and then a couple of nights later winning it back, or maybe it was like wasn't it the same week? It was like
2 days later.
Yeah. And then immediately after, Owens wins it back from Jericho, and then Owens loses on a house show to AJ Styles, which is fine because you do want people to still go to house shows and still buy tickets to house shows. And it is probably really difficult to sell those if everyone knows that, hey, why should I care about a championship match? Because I obviously know the champion's going to win.
Yeah.
So it is good to occasionally have a championship change hands on a house show because you want to continue to sell tickets. Because money. The problem is, why do that if you were just like 2 weeks later going to give the belt right back to Owens? That to me doesn't make sense. Like, I love Owens as U.S. champ, and he honestly kind of made the belt seem better than AJ did, just because, I don't know, it was, well, the thing was that we were robbed of the celebration of it and, like, of the awesome, epic moment. Like, yes, AJ Styles is the champion. Like, we were robbed of that because we didn't get to see, like, I saw a little clip of the ending of the match where he won the championship.
Like after.
But after it happened, and I knew it was going to happen when I watched it, and also, like, it's just, it just didn't. You don't have that attachment. There's like this barrier there for some reason. I don't know why, but it's there, and so maybe they like just wanted to give it right back to Kevin so that at SummerSlam AJ will win and we can have that moment. If that's what it is, then I'm fine with that because that means AJ is going to be champion again here in a month, which is great. But I also love Kevin as champion. It's really confusing. I'm conflicted. I don't like being conflicted, and I don't like when my titles are hot potatoed because I want like coherent stories, and like I don't always want reigns that last a year or more, like with the New Day and their like they had a historic reign and that's awesome. And like I like when champions actually can keep their belts for a while, like a good few months, like Neville's done. I think that's awesome. I think he needs to keep it forever, honestly, unless Rey Mysterio comes back to the company. But like, so I do like when you might have it for a couple months and then you lose it. But like when it's a couple of days thing or a couple of weeks thing, even that to me it gets to be too much. And like I just don't like. It's hard for the title to seem super prestigious when it's just changing hands a bunch. Maybe I'm wrong about that because maybe like the fact that people keep fighting for it and keep giving their all and like they keep going back and forth and like taking the title from each other, that maybe that actually adds prestige in a way. I guess you could look at it that way of like they're really going after this title and like, they're putting everything into it. They're making that guy's making sure he wins it back because he wants that title back. And then the same thing happens when the other guy loses it. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I could see how people could think that. But overall, the match was just really good. I just wasn't expecting the finish. Because I had heard a rumor that Kevin Owens had failed a drug test and was going to get suspended for 30 days. And so I just assumed that was the thing. And that was why AJ got the title. But apparently that isn't the thing, because why would you have given AJ or Kevin a third reign if it's just like reward his drug use? Right. I don't know. That wouldn't make sense to me, but Vince McMahon doesn't make much sense to me, so I guess anything's possible. But overall, just a good match. Definitely second best match of the night for sure. And the two can't do wrong. And the great thing is I did feel like that they were both holding back something. And so if they do have a third match at SummerSlam, I'm glad for that because I hope that it's going to be everything that I feel like the match is going to be. And so only good things hopefully will come from it.
Yeah, definitely. And so speaking of Vince McMahon not having any sort of logic or really any just I don't know. He's lost it. We have the returning, which he returned.
They're both returning.
Actually, they both returned. Now I think about it. The returning John Cena versus the returning Rusev in an ever so interesting flag match. And who could have guessed? It was July 4th. It all went down. I don't think the flag match was. I don't remember. I don't think the match was like set as a flag match then.
Yeah, it was.
It was then.
It was that night. He was.
Well, I knew that he was talking, and
he
then
came out and was like, because John was giving a speech about how great America is, and Rusev came out and was like, America sucks. He's like, because I love my flag. So why don't I put my flag up and you put your flag up, and we have a good old fashioned flag match.
Actually, John Cena said that part.
That's what I'm saying. Or did I not specify?
No, you didn't. But anyway, we have. But the problem with this, actually, everything's a problem. But the problem with this is that flag matches aren't interesting, but also it's just a rehash of every American versus anti-American storyline. And I get that you're gonna have that, but like to really expose it through a flag match, like come on. So anyway, I guess it went along with the theme of Battleground with the different colors that people represent, but it wasn't that interesting of a match. John Cena, we realized, especially through this match, is just protecting himself too much. It's like Parker was saying earlier, we can suspend reality to a certain point, but John Cena makes it hard to. Rusev was pretty good. I do sometimes enjoy his wrestling, but he just sets himself up too much. Again, I know that's kayfabe. I know that's just part of wrestling. But every time someone sets up tables, they're about to go through it. And he gave John Cena too many opportunities, and Cena walked out with the victory as expected. It was so predictable, which also made the match even less interesting. So it basically had 0% interest, or it went into the negatives actually, because it also had big match John versus Rusev, which we've seen several times before. Um, yeah. Where do we go from here? Probably, hopefully not a rematch. I don't see a rematch happening.
I would doubt it.
I think, if anything, John Cena maybe goes on to main event against Mahal at SummerSlam. Probably not the main event, but you know what I mean. Championship match. Maybe to break the 16 record. I don't know.
I think main event's confirmed to be Brock versus whoever he's going against.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily see that that's going to happen. But it's a possibility.
I don't think it's going to be a championship match. I think that John Cena will be involved in a tag team match that also involves Jinder Mahal, along with a certain other person we'll get to.
Oh, yeah.
And Randy Orton as his partner.
I was thinking that just now as I was saying about the WWE Championship match. I was thinking about a tag team match. But
we'll get to that.
Yeah, but for Rusev, I think he just kind of stays in the mid-card and just, he'll find an opponent. Heck, maybe go against Nakamura or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, like, where do you go from here? Especially if, like we said earlier, if Baron Corbin and Nakamura are done, and Rusev and Cena are done, well, what do you do?
I just don't think Rusev would be any better than Corbin for an opponent for Shinsuke.
I don't know.
I don't. It's
closer.
I don't know. Maybe it might could work. Honestly, it'd be interesting to see two obvious foreigners going against each other and not being like an American. It'd be interesting. But the next to last match of the card, we had Sami Zayn versus Mike Kanellis, who was accompanied, of course, by his wife, Maria Kanellis. And apparently we cannot call him Mike. We must call him Maria's husband, because that's all that the commentators were calling him, which is dumb. I think their gimmick's really stupid. That has nothing to do with the match. It's just it's just weird when they ran, like, he would like hit Sammy, but instead of going for a pin, he would like crawl over to his wife and like Eskimo kiss her and then like flick his tongue or something. And it was like, it's weird. It's just the both of them are just. It doesn't. I don't like it. I don't know. It's just weird. That's not what I want in wrestling. I want dudes and dudettes to beat each other up. I don't want love. I mean, you can have storylines that accompany love, like have love in it. Like, the Nikki and John Cena versus Miz and Maurice. That was obviously about love because they were both couples, but like it was still much better than this crap.
Yeah.
Just because it's so over the top. And I get the wrestling's over the top. Again, like we understand that, but it's also difficult to stomach it because it's so stupid. But in a surprising twist, Sami Zayn pulled out a victory. It's very odd because Sami Zayn is Sami Zayn. But he did win against Mike Kanellis. It was honestly really similar to the English Dillinger thing. In just that it was just a match, and like there's not much in the way of story. Obviously, like there's story because like Sammy's been like kind of accidentally getting in their way when he's doing stuff, like going to his match and stuff like that, and so they got mad because they're heels and they like hit him with a vase, and like so I get it, but it's still kind of dumb and very very weak booking in my opinion to get to this. It's just an average match. Nothing really exciting happened. And it was just okay. Where it goes from here, I don't really know. I guess you have a rubber match. Hopefully not at Summer. I doubt they would put a place for this match at SummerSlam. It's going to be so packed with all the championships and all that stuff, and any like high level card matches that aren't championship matches that they might have, if any. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure who would end up winning the rubber match. It's hard to say who needs it more because honestly, both really need it. Sammy needs something because he's been in no man's land forever and a half, and then Mike is obviously, or Maria's husband. I'm sorry. Maria's husband is obviously brand new to the company, and so you kind of want his first big feud to end in him winning to just put his place on the roster. But I don't know who either one would feud with next because Sammy's kind of feuded with everyone at this point, and I don't see any like super interesting things that I can just think of right now. And Mike, I'm not sure what they'll go. Honestly, I just don't know, and honestly, I just don't care at this point. Like this pay-per-view really beat me down. That
makes several matches we just don't care about.
Yeah, like this pay-per-view just beat me down. I'm past caring. I'm glad that my 4 matches are done because now Zach can talk about the main event.
Yes, and the main event was the WWE Championship match that was contested inside a Punjabi prison with the champion Jinder Mahal defending against the challenger Randy Orton. And eventful match. I mean, not like super great, especially since a lot of it is predictable. It's predictable in ways that you know that all 4 doors are going to be open. Like no one's going to get out of the first, second, or third one. It was pretty predictable when Mahal got out the 4th one, and Randy Orton was. And again, the illogical situations come in play here when Randy was stuck inside there alone. Mahal escaped on the 4th door, and Randy just kind of stands around for a minute. Wow. And like every time they would call for a door to be open, they would slowly get to the door. I mean, it was just ridiculous. This is one match that it's hard to suspend disbelief. And I don't know. But one highlight, or I guess it was several highlights, was the fact that we love this when Randy Orton just beats the crap out of the Singh brothers. Okay, Randy is stiff with them, but we give kudos to the Singh brothers for taking it. I mean, it wouldn't happen over and over again if they weren't cool with it, backstage wise. But it's really funny. It's really awesome, and really kudos to the spot where one of the Singh brothers falls off of the top of the prison, the outside prison part, and right onto the announce table. And we're calling it now at WrestleMania. The Singh brothers are going to go against Shane McMahon, who can kill themselves the fastest, because it's just insane. They remind us of Shane McMahon, and huge kudos to them. Just for entertaining. It's entertaining, finally. Getting back to the contenders, though, I don't know. I thought them fighting on the outside for so long was so stupid. But then we have the return of the quote-unquote creator of the Punjabi prison match. The not-so-great, but yet great Khali. What even? Just what did we witness? Because that part was unpredictable. I'll give WWE that. It wasn't a great surprise, but it was a surprise nonetheless. One weird thing I realized is that when he was shaking the cage, it made Randy do a flip over the cage. Like he was already on the outside and he flipped into it. That was stupid. I did like sort of, if you're going to introduce Khali back with Mahal, I like how that ended as far as Khali was sitting there choking Orton. It wasn't something stupid. He was choking Orton, and Mahal was able to escape and take the victory in the championship. However, it was stupid that the Great Khali got involved at all. But I mean, I guess if you're gonna do it that way. Have Khali just take out Orton, almost literally. Um, man, so that's what we were talking about earlier. Maybe SummerSlam has a tag team match: Randy Orton and John Cena versus Mahal and Khali. I don't know if they don't go that route. I don't know what they're going to do with Mahal and Khali, because surely Khali is going to return to in-ring action. I mean, I would hope not. Obviously, I don't want it to happen.
Don't do it.
But surely that's going to happen, and surely Mahal and Orton aren't done.
Please God, make
I mean,
them
I
done.
wish. Yeah, it's so many things that we think are going to happen. We just don't want to.
And also, like, I feel like it's inevitable there'll be a tag team match.
Yeah,
I just don't know
at some
who
point.
else other than John Cena who would partner with Randy Orton.
Right. And then who knows? They may find two partners and have the Singh brothers join in too. Shane McMahon, there you go.
Dude, Shane's like comes up to Randy. He's like, "Hey, I saw where this Indian guy just thinks he can like just fall off of tall stuff onto tables. He thinks he can take my gimmick. I'm teaming up with you, Randy. We're taking these guys down. We're doing this, man. I'm the only daredevil around these parts."
But in all seriousness, I do see a WWE Championship match at SummerSlam. I mean, then again, they have had big pay-per-views where the champion has been in a match where they didn't defend.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would be okay. I'm gonna be careful with saying this. I'd be okay with it, but at the same time, I wouldn't, because it's the Great Khali and Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
But
Jinder's definitely going to be in a match, whether it's a tag match or a championship match. He's definitely going to be on the card.
Definitely, but what I'm saying is I don't know how and what capacity, because they can go several ways with this. They could go Mahal versus Orton. They could go Mahal versus Cena, because they could surely set up something in a month.
I'd rather see Cena than Orton at this point. Like, as much as I like, okay,
because Cena knows.
If it was
and at least Orton has put over Mahal time and time again.
Sure, but the problem is that when it comes to just Mahal and Orton wrestling, it's not fun to watch.
Right.
Now, Orton basically murdering the scenes is super entertaining to watch, and I love that. That's all I want. I literally want Orton to never even look at Mahal, because I don't know if it's Mahal's fault, because I honestly haven't seen Mahal fight anyone else. Hardly, like, he's fought a couple people. Yeah. Like, he fought, like, I think he fought, like, Sami Zayn, Mojo Rawley, and beat them, like, at the beginning of his, like, when he was the number one contender, I think. But, like, I haven't really seen if, like, it's just that it's boring with Orton because of, like, Orton, or it's just, like, their chemistry, if they just don't have great chemistry. Obviously, Orton has amazing chemistry with the Sings. But I don't know that they have great chemistry with him and Mahal. Now, whether that's Mahal's fault or just that he just doesn't have great chemistry with Orton, I'm not sure. And we'll just only see that by more matches from Mahal with different opponents. The problem is we've had straight, like, 2-3 months of just Mahal and Orton. Yeah. And honestly, like, while I love what's going on, I would like a change in my main events.
Yeah. That's just... So, overall, the card was... I wouldn't even say even looked like it was promising. I mean, there were a few matches that could have been... or that were hyped pretty well. I think the women's match was one of... in my opinion, I think the women's match was the best... the best letdown for a hyped up match, if that makes any sense. Like, the biggest letdown for something that felt like it was hyped up.
Yeah.
That, like, someone important was going to win. And not saying Natalya wasn't important to win, because, like you said, she needed it. But it seemed like, okay, if you're setting up for a SummerSlam match, which I feel like they are, probably a pre-show match, but SummerSlam
it's definitely a SummerSlam match.
Right. But at SummerSlam, if you're setting it up, like, you want a big time match. Like, this has to be great, because they have to give their all if they're going to want one of the top 4 pay-per-views. I would even venture to say the second or third. I know Royal Rumble was pretty important, but
it's definitely
like the top four.
up there.
You want the number one contendership match to be filled with entertainment, and that was probably the biggest letdown.
Yeah, definitely. Like when it came to like the hyped matches, it was the tag match, the women's match, the U.S. match, the flag match, and the Punjabi match. Those were like the 5 really hyped ones. And then like Sammy and Mike was thrown in, Shinsuke and Baron I felt was thrown in, and Aiden and Ty was obviously thrown in. I feel like New Day versus Usos rose above what was expected.
Right. Yeah.
The U.S. match I felt like kind of was even.
It was there. Yeah.
The flag match was just annoying as heck.
And that was expected.
But that was expected.
We expected
I didn't expect it to be as annoying as it was.
True, yeah.
But I expected the outcome, and I expected kind of the way it would happen. And then the Punjabi match was expected, but then you throw in the Great Khali, and that was totally unexpected.
Yeah.
So, but I would say it was about average. Like, I didn't have huge expectations for entertainment-wise. And I might would say it rose a little bit above, because I didn't expect as many amazing spots with the sings and like they made it kind of hardcore, and I didn't expect a hardcore match because cage matches aren't usually very hardcore.
Yeah.
And then but the biggest letdown definitely was the women's match. Of like the hype match. Zach was definitely right.
It was the one that fell most below, like furthest below our expectations.
Definitely.
And overall, the card was kind of a letdown. But we are hopeful, which we say that every time, but we are just wrestling fans. I mean, I guess that can't really take that away that easily. So we're very hopeful for SummerSlam.
Definitely. It's the first of the big 4 of the new year.
Yeah.
Like, because it's weird because WrestleMania is, well, technically this is the 3rd of the big 4 of this year.
Of the calendar year.
Of the calendar year, but of like the wrestling calendar year, this is the first one of the new year.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. It kind of is going to, I think, mold how the rest of the year is going to go. And it's kind of make or break, honestly, for me, for WWE. Like, I don't know. Like, if they don't deliver on an awesome SummerSlam, I don't know how much longer I'll want to watch.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. And I hate that. Like, I never thought I would say that. Like, I didn't think I would. But
especially starting up a YouTube video or YouTube channel and everything.
Like, when we had been talking about it for a little while, by the time we started, like, WrestleMania, I was super excited. I was super hyped. All the matches, like, even the ones that weren't, like, super great, I loved all of them. Like, I was still super pumped. But just, like, there have been some good pay-per-views and some good moments in this year. But on the whole, it's kind of been, like, more on the negative, and I hate that. And, like, especially with this, I would say definitely the worst pay-per-view so far of this year. Definitely.
It's in contention with Fastlane.
I think it's worse than that. Fastlane was really bad. And
we had that, and
it's hard to remember which is where, because Fastlane was so long ago. I barely remember any of the matches that were on it.
But this was
really bad.
It's in contention. But now, which is ironic because we think the tag team match was probably one of the best matches of the entire year.
Yeah, definitely.
But that shows how much WWE can mess things up.
But it also shows how awesome they can be. Like,
that's true.
The thing is like WWE doesn't do a whole lot in the middle. When it's high, man, it's high. Man, it's awesome. Man, it's amazing. And I love it. But when it's bad, it's bad. It's so bad. But I think we beat this pay-per-view into the dust enough. This pay-per-view's been jobbed out by Walla Echo. Yeah, we've crushed it.
But I guess with that, we're going to get off of here. But that's been the aftermath of WWE Battleground 2017. Looking forward to SummerSlam. So you'll see those videos. Hopefully, since it's a month away, we'll see other videos. Punishments coming. Different things like that.
Throw in the top 10 or 2.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So definitely be looking out for those. The way you look out for those, subscribe. Get notifications for our channel. And like this video and comment if you think this pay-per-view is good or bad. So we've been Wawa Echo, and we will see you later. Peace.